There is a moment that changes everything. It does not arrive with loud music or a dramatic speech. It comes quietly, maybe after being ignored one too many times. Maybe after giving your best to people who only noticed what you failed to give. Maybe after standing in a room full of voices and feeling your spirit go silent. And in that moment, something inside you wakes up. You begin to see that worth is not something you beg people to notice. It is something you carry. It is in your eyes when you stop doubting yourself. It is in your steps when you stop chasing approval. It is in your silence when you finally understand that not every fight deserves your energy. Listen closely, because this can change the way people see you from this day forward. The truth is simple but powerful. People learn your value by watching what you allow, what you protect, what you walk away from, and what you no longer explain. If you stay with me, you will feel this deeply. Because once you understand these quiet behaviors, you stop trying so hard to prove who you are. Your life starts speaking for you. And when that happens, everything changes. Respect changes. Relationships change. Even the way you look at yourself changes. So take this in slowly, because the strongest people are not always the loudest ones. Very often, they are the calmest ones in the room, the ones who know exactly who they are without needing to announce it to anyone. One of the strongest things you can learn is the power of silence. Not the silence of fear, not the silence of weakness, the silence of self-control. The silence of a person who knows that peace is too expensive to waste on noise. Many people think they must answer every insult, every wrong opinion, every careless word. They believe if they do not react, they will look small. But the opposite is often true. When you stop answering every storm, people begin to notice that your energy is not easy to touch. That matters, because anyone can be pulled into chaos. It takes real strength to stay still when the world expects you to break. Silence can protect your dignity in ways anger never will. It gives you room to think. It keeps you from saying words you will regret. It reminds others that access to your emotions is not free. And that lesson is powerful. When people see that you will not argue just to satisfy their ego, they start understanding that your spirit has standards, that your calm is not empty. It is chosen. There will be times when silence speaks louder than 100 perfect sentences. In those moments, let your restraint say, I know who I am. Let your calm say, I will not step down into confusion just because someone else lives there. And if this speaks to you, keep listening, because the next shift is where many people finally get their power back. Another quiet lesson of worth is knowing when to walk away. This is not easy. The heart likes what is familiar, even when it hurts. People stay in places where they are tolerated but not valued. They stay in conversations that drain them. They stay in relationships where their kindness is taken as weakness. They stay because leaving feels lonely, and being alone scares many people more than being disrespected. But there comes a time when staying costs more than leaving. That is the truth. Every day you remain where your spirit is being reduced, a part of you begins to fade. So walking away is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is soft, quiet, clean, no speech, no revenge, just a decision. A decision that says, I cannot keep shrinking to fit into a place that does not honor me. And when you do that, something shifts inside you. You begin to rebuild your dignity. You begin to trust yourself again. You teach the world that your presence is valuable and it cannot be handled carelessly. Solitude may visit you for a while after that. Let it. Solitude is not the enemy. Sometimes it is the room where your self-respect returns. Sometimes it is the only place quiet enough for you to hear your own worth again. And once you hear it clearly, you stop begging people to treat you better. You simply stop staying where they refuse to. There is also deep power in consistency. A lot of people can appear strong for one day. A lot of people can be kind when life is easy, disciplined when eyes are on them, patient when nothing tests them. But who are they when no one is clapping? Who are they when they are tired, disappointed, overlooked, and tempted to give up? That is where character lives. The way you show up again and again becomes a quiet message to everyone around you. Your consistency tells people whether your values are real or just words. When you stay grounded through changing seasons, others begin to trust your presence. They feel the steadiness in you. They see that your kindness is not fake. Your principles are not temporary. Your emotional balance is not for display. It is who you are. And that kind of stability carries weight. People may not always praise it out loud, but they feel it. They remember it. The world is full of loud impressions that disappear quickly. Consistency is different. It builds a reputation slowly, almost invisibly, until one day people realize they see you as dependable, thoughtful, and strong. If you want your worth to be felt without endless explanation, let your daily behavior do the talking. Keep your word. Protect your standards. Stay true even when nobody notices right away. Because they will notice, maybe later than you hoped, maybe more quietly than you expected, but they will. And when they do, it will not be because you begged to be seen. It will be because your life became impossible to ignore. There is wisdom in speaking less and listening more. In a loud world, the person who listens carefully becomes rare. Most people do not listen to understand. They listen to respond, to defend themselves, to turn the attention back toward their own story. But when you truly listen, you begin to hear what others miss. You hear pain hiding behind humor. You hear fear hiding behind control. You hear loneliness hiding behind pride. This does not just make you wiser. It makes your words more powerful when you finally speak. Because words carry more weight when they are not thrown around carelessly. A person who talks nonstop may be noticed, but a person who speaks with intention is remembered. When you pause before speaking, people begin leaning in. They understand that what comes from your mouth is chosen, not spilled. That changes the energy around you. It creates presence. It creates respect. And it also protects you from saying things that weaken your position. Not every thought needs a voice. Not every silence needs to be filled. Some of the strongest people in any room are the ones observing, thinking, reading the atmosphere, and refusing to perform just to be noticed. If you want to change how people experience you, let your words become fewer and stronger. Let them come from clarity instead of impulse. Let them carry calm, not desperation, and watch what happens. The same people who once overlooked you may begin listening more carefully, not because you became louder, but because your voice started carrying something they can feel but cannot fake. A powerful change happens the day you stop seeking constant approval. For so many people, this habit begins early. They learn to feel good only when others approve. A compliment lifts them. A cold look breaks them. A little praise makes them shine. A little rejection makes them question everything. Over time, their identity becomes tied to reactions that were never meant to define them. So they start adjusting themselves. They soften their truth. They make themselves easier to accept. They say yes when they want to say no. They smile when they feel hurt. They become experts at pleasing people and strangers to themselves. But one day, reality speaks clearly. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will value you. And some people have already decided not to see your worth no matter how much you explain, sacrifice, or prove. That truth can hurt at first. Then it frees you. Because when you finally accept that the wrong people cannot confirm your value, you stop placing your heart in their hands. You begin asking a better question. Not do they approve of me, but am I living in a way that feels honest to my spirit? That question changes everything. It returns your energy to you. It gives you room to create, grow, and breathe again. And here is the beautiful part. The less desperate you are for approval, the more grounded you become. Some people will like that. Some will not. But either way, you stop losing yourself just to stay acceptable in the eyes of people who were never truly for you. Boundaries are another quiet language of self-worth. They are not anger. They are not cruelty. They are not walls built from bitterness. They are clear lines drawn by a person who has learned that peace must be protected. Many people struggle with boundaries because they confuse kindness with endless availability. They believe being good means always being reachable, always saying yes, always carrying what others refuse to carry for themselves. But that kind of living slowly empties the soul. A person who cannot say no eventually loses control over their own time, energy, and emotional space. So the small word no becomes powerful, not rude, powerful. It says my life has value. My rest has value. My focus has value. My spirit is not public property. And when you begin using that word with calm confidence, people learn something important about you. They learn that your presence cannot be demanded without care. They learn that access to you comes with respect. Some will not like this change. They benefited from your lack of boundaries. They were comfortable when you overgave and stayed silent. So when you begin protecting yourself, they may call you cold, distant, difficult, or changed. Let them. Growth often looks rude to people who felt entitled to your energy. You do not need to argue with that. Just stay clear. Stay calm. Stay firm, because boundaries do not push away healthy love. They reveal where it truly exists. The right people may need time to adjust, but they will understand. The wrong people will resist. Either way, your peace matters too much to keep paying for love with self-betrayal. Your response in hard moments reveals more than your words ever can. Life tests people without warning. A disrespectful comment, a betrayal, a disappointment you did not deserve, a misunderstanding that makes you want to defend every part of yourself. In those moments, anyone can react. Anyone can raise their voice, send the angry message, slam the door, or speak from raw pain. But calmness is a different kind of strength. It does not mean you feel nothing. It means you choose not to let emotion control your behavior. That choice is powerful. A calm person still feels hurt. They still feel frustration. But they understand that one reckless reaction can create damage that lingers long after the moment has passed. So they pause. They breathe. They see clearly before they speak. And because of that, their dignity stays intact. People often mistake calmness for weakness because they do not understand how much discipline it takes to remain steady when chaos invites you in. But the truth is, losing control is easy. Mastering yourself is harder. Calmness protects relationships. It protects reputation. It protects inner peace. It allows you to be firm without becoming cruel, honest without becoming destructive, strong without becoming hard. And there is something quietly unforgettable about a person who refuses to be dragged into emotional disorder. That kind of presence changes a room. It slows the fire. It resets the tone. It shows maturity, self-awareness, and deep confidence. If you can learn this, really learn it, you will carry a strength that many people talk about but very few truly possess. The more you respect yourself, the less you feel the need to prove yourself. This changes the way you move through every part of life. You stop explaining every decision. You stop defending every dream to people who have not earned the right to judge it. You stop trying to win over those who only feel comfortable when you are uncertain. Self-respect creates a kind of quiet certainty, not perfection, not pride, certainty. It lets you know that even with flaws, even while growing, even after mistakes, you still belong to yourself. And once that feeling becomes real, the need to perform begins to fade. You no longer reshape your personality just to fit another person's comfort. You no longer hide your truth to avoid disapproval. You begin speaking with more honesty, living with more simplicity, and choosing with more clarity. This also changes how you experience failure. When your worth depends on outside praise, mistakes feel like disasters. They feel like proof that you are not enough. But self-respect teaches you something better. Mistakes are not identity. They are instruction. They are part of the road, not the end of it. So instead of collapsing under setbacks, you learn from them. You rise without turning bitter. You keep going without making shame your home. That is beautiful to witness. People notice that kind of resilience. They see someone who can stumble and still stand with grace. And whether they admit it or not, they respect it. Because deep down, everyone recognizes the power of a person who no longer needs applause to believe in their own worth. Value your time and protect your energy. This sounds simple, but it changes lives. Time is one of the few things that never returns, yet many people give it away too easily. They give hours to pointless conflict, days to people who only call when they need something, months to habits that drain them, years to proving themselves in rooms where they were never respected. Then they wonder why they feel empty. Energy works the same way. Every conversation, every environment, every commitment takes something from you or adds something to you. If you do not become careful, you will spend your best strength on things that leave you weaker. So begin noticing. Notice who leaves you heavy. Notice what steals your focus. Notice which patterns keep pulling you away from your own growth. This is not selfish. This is wisdom. A person who values their time becomes more intentional. They choose better. They rest without guilt. They stop giving endless access to people who treat their presence casually. And when you live like this, others begin to treat you differently. They start understanding that your attention is meaningful, that your availability is not automatic, that being in your life is something to respect, not assume. If this part hits home, hold on to it, because so much of peace begins here, not with changing the whole world, just with changing what you keep allowing into your days. Protect your mornings. Protect your focus. Protect your emotional space. A quieter life often begins with stronger choices about where your time goes and who gets your best energy. Gratitude and kindness may seem soft, but together they create a strength many people underestimate. Gratitude keeps the heart from hardening. It does not deny pain. It does not pretend everything is easy. It simply refuses to let darkness tell the whole story. A grateful person still sees problems, but they also see what remains good, what remains possible, what remains beautiful. This creates warmth. It creates emotional richness. People feel it when they are around someone who does not live in constant complaint. They feel the difference between a bitter spirit and a thankful one, and kindness adds another layer to that strength. Real kindness is not weakness. It is not allowing people to walk on you. It is not smiling while being mistreated. True kindness is compassion with wisdom. It is choosing humanity without abandoning your boundaries. It is refusing to let cruelty shape the way you treat others, even after life has given you reasons to become cold. That takes courage. It is easy to become sharp after disappointment. It is easy to grow defensive and hard, but to stay kind while staying strong, that is rare. And people recognize it. They may not say it immediately, but they trust it. They remember how you made them feel. They notice the steadiness of a person who can be gentle without being naive, firm without being cruel, open without losing self-protection. That balance gives your presence depth. It tells the world that your strength is not borrowed from status, money, or attention. It comes from inner work. It comes from the daily decision to keep your heart clear without letting it become unguarded. As these qualities grow together, something beautiful starts happening. You stop trying to convince people of your worth. Your life starts showing it without effort. Your silence shows wisdom. Your boundaries show self-respect. Your calm shows emotional strength. Your consistency shows character. Your kindness shows depth. Your refusal to chase approval shows confidence. And little by little, the world begins to respond to what you are teaching without words. This is how quiet power works. It does not rush. It does not beg to be noticed. It becomes so real that people feel it before they can explain it. Some will admire it. Some will misunderstand it. Some may even be uncomfortable with it, because your growth reminds them of where they are still avoiding their own. But let that be theirs to face. Your task is not to be understandable to everyone. Your task is to be truthful with yourself. Life gets lighter when you stop spending your energy on people determined to misread you. It gets clearer when you stop over-explaining your heart to those who only listen for what benefits them. It gets stronger when you stop negotiating your peace in exchange for temporary acceptance. And this is where true confidence begins to deepen. Not in being adored by everyone, not in winning every argument, not in getting the loudest response, but in waking up and knowing that your way of living reflects who you really are. That kind of alignment creates peace. It creates focus. It creates a presence no one can easily shake. Stay with this truth because it can change how you move from this moment on. So let this settle in deeply. You were never meant to spend your life auditioning for acceptance. You were never meant to explain your soul to people committed to misunderstanding it. Your worth was never a prize others had the power to hand you. It was always something living within you, waiting for you to protect it, trust it, and live from it. From now on, let your actions speak with more authority than your explanations. Let your calm become a shield. Let your boundaries become a language. Let your choices become evidence of self-respect. Walk away when honor is missing. Speak less but mean more. Give your time where it is valued. Keep your heart kind but no longer easy to misuse. Rise after setbacks without becoming bitter. Trust yourself enough to stop looking over your shoulder for permission to be who you are. And when doubt whispers, as it sometimes will, return to this simple truth. The right people do not need you to become smaller to love you, and the wrong people will never be satisfied no matter how much of yourself you give away. So stop offering your peace to be judged by restless minds. Stop shrinking to fit old expectations. Stop waiting for the world to confirm what your spirit already knows. You are allowed to become quieter and stronger at the same time. You are allowed to protect your life without apology. You are allowed to outgrow the need to be understood by everyone. And when you truly live this way, people will feel it. Not because you told them, because your presence will say it for you.